Okay, so the next drill we're going to do is a thoracic mobility, okay? And this is one of the systems that I've studied. It's called Z Health Performance, and they're based in Tempe, Arizona. The co-founders are Dr. Eric Cobb and Kathy Mock, and I have utilized a lot of their systems to help with the efficiency of athletes, okay? So in the moves that we've just done with the squat, the deadlift, the kettlebell swing, even though we have a solid core or a pillar, we have to have some sort of mobility here as well, because that eventually will affect our range of motion at our shoulders and also at our hips, okay? So I'm going to have you put some reference point on me, and then I'll kind of talk you through it a little bit, okay? So this is our thoracic spine, okay, from basically the bottom of the neck, okay, down to the bottom of the rib cage. And there's 12 bones, 12 vertebrae that make up that part of the spine. Okay, so we'll pick the middle area, which is a little bit easier to focus on. As we move away from midline, it becomes a little bit harder, to perform the movements. So the movements are not really going to be dynamic like our shoulders, but a little bit smaller, a little bit more refined. Okay? So I'll have you put your finger here on me in the front. Okay, and then directly on the opposite side on the back. Okay, so again, we're in our neutral position, okay? Nice tall posture. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna send the vertebrae forward and backwards, okay? So anterior and posterior, okay? So if you watch me move the vertebrae forward, okay, you're gonna see the chest kind of pop up a little bit, okay?
And I can feel that pop out.
Yes, so male, female, I'm basically gonna say move your chest upward that way, okay? And when I send the vertebrae backwards, you almost feel like a rounding happening there.
Right.
Good. So we call this the dowager's hump. So later on, right, this is the very unattractive.
The little old lady at the grocery store.
Yeah. The problem is, and I'll show you really quickly, is when I start to do this, my line of sight is now at the floor.
Right.
But life doesn't happen at the floor. So now I have to pick up my head to see what's going on, right? So now if I were to stand up and not change my neck position, watch what happens. I'm basically walking around all day with my head cramped up. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you one more time the forward, backward. Okay? So we're going to move anterior, forward, and backward, posterior.
Which that reminds me of what we did with our pelvis, with moving it forwards and backwards.
Perfect.
That same concept.
Exactly. One of the common errors, though, because there's the shoulders involved here, is that people start to flap their wings here. Okay. So that's what we want to avoid. We want to actually create everything from the spine. So, okay?
Yep.
So the next movement is we're going to add a little bit of rotation. So I'm going to pretend like your fingers are a rod going right through me. Okay? And I'm going to try and pivot around that point. And this is where you really need a coach. Okay? So this is where you're helping me. Okay? So I'm trying to rotate around that spot, okay? And I may not even be perfect there, so this is where I need somebody to give me feedback and tell me exactly what am I doing, okay? Because sometimes I can engage some of the lower things, and I can start doing some of this stuff, and that's what we don't want. So I want to be very specific. So you see the movement's really not that big.
Just a small.
Yep, okay. And so the next one is lateral, so side to side. So I'm going to basically try and shift your fingers to the side. Okay, so see how I'm trying to move my body to the side there? Okay, good. And then just like the pelvis, like what you said, we've got the forward, backward, and we've got the lateral, so we've got the cross. Okay, now I want to connect the perimeter. Okay, so basically I'm going to start with chest forward. Okay, move that back around to the side. Go back, okay, out to the right, and forward, okay? Good, so we can do counterclockwise, okay, and then clockwise, okay? And you want to try and study that at each level of the thoracic spine. And like I said, as you move away from midline, especially up top, it's going to get a lot harder and the movements are probably going to be a lot slower. But if you can establish that kind of control, you will lend a lot of that mobility back into the shoulder and into the hips. So many people that come in with frozen shoulder, adhesive capsulitis, that's kind of like the thing is, hey, I can't reach for something in the cupboard. It's because they're so locked in this postural fault that they really can't reach. But the thing is, if you correct this posture right here, not only do you make yourself taller, you take stress off of your body, but now all of a sudden you can actually start to reach for things because you're no longer compressing your body. So So
Wow.
cool. Does that make
Awesome.
sense?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
So thanks, Coach.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, alongside my man, Dr. Stu, with his formula, Machine Motion, the Dr. Stu series. Dr. Stu, what's up with this, man?
So we designed this formulation. It's a joint formula, okay, to kind of support the book that we came out with for low back pain, right? And so we want to support the health of joints for people that are just ailing. And we put a short little, a compact little formulation together and put everything together that everybody has kind of separated into different products. So it's an all-in-one. There's a link in the description below. You can click on that, find out a little bit more information, and there it is.
Thing is, you're looking at scientifically validated dosing of key ingredients to help not only if you have lower back pain, but any kind of joint issues or if you want to prevent them. And that's not a game.